Welcome to Kindness Stories, where ordinary people show extraordinary strength. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell, because the next story might just change your life. The auditorium was packed. Students in blue and gold gowns buzzed with excitement. The walls shimmered with string lights and banners read Class of 2025 in bold, sparkling letters. Laughter filled the air. Cameras flashed, and families cheered as names were called one by one. But in the back row, behind the cheerful crowd, a girl named Amara sat silently, clutching the edge of her graduation robe. Amara had transferred to Hill Ridge High only 2 months before graduation. Her mother had taken a job in the city after years of moving around for work. For Amara, this was the 14th school in 7 years. Making friends was never easy, and starting over again right before such a milestone made it even harder. She kept to herself, sitting alone at lunch, listening to music through her earbuds, and sketching quietly in her notebook during free periods. What Amara didn't know was that her silence was making her a target. There were 3 girls in particular: Sienna, Maddie, and Lexi, who ruled Hill Ridge High's senior class. They had everything: popularity, social media followers, designer clothes, and the attention of everyone in school. Wherever they went, people stepped aside. Sienna, their ringleader, was especially ruthless. If someone dared to speak against her, they became a joke, a meme, a viral moment of shame. And Amara, she didn't play their game. That's what infuriated them. It started small: a bump in the hallway, a note left on her locker that said "try harder," then a cruel video edit on social media that showed her tripping in gym class, though the actual fall never happened. No one ever helped. Teachers didn't notice. Students looked away. Everyone was too afraid to be next. Amara ignored it all. She had seen worse in other schools. She had learned to stay invisible, but she had no idea Sienna had something bigger planned for graduation day. 2 weeks before the ceremony, Amara received an anonymous message online. "You think you're better than everyone? Wait till grad night. You'll get what you deserve." She stared at the screen, her fingers trembling. It could have been from anyone, but her gut told her exactly who it was. She didn't tell anyone. What was the point? No one ever listened. But she prepared. What the girls didn't know about Amara was that in every town her mom worked, she had joined different martial arts clubs: taekwondo in Kentucky, kickboxing in New Jersey, and most recently, Krav Maga in Texas. She didn't talk about it. She didn't brag. But under that quiet exterior was a fighter who had trained for years, not to hurt but to defend. Graduation day arrived with golden sunlight pouring through the gymnasium windows. Amara wore a simple white dress under her robe, one she had altered herself from a thrift store find. It wasn't glamorous, but it was hers. She had spent the whole night before ironing every crease, adjusting the fit with pins and adding a thin silver belt at the waist. Her mom sat in the 3rd row with tears in her eyes, holding the camera, smiling proudly. For the first time in months, Amara allowed herself to hope for a good memory. Then it happened. As the principal called the names in alphabetical order, Amara lined up behind a few students. Her heart pounded. Cameras flashed. Applause echoed. She could see the stage. But Sienna and her group were waiting near the curtains. She barely registered them before Sienna whispered loudly enough for everyone around to hear. "Nice dress. Thrift queen." Then, like a scene from a nightmare, Maddie reached out, grabbed the bottom of Amara's gown and yanked it upward. Lexi pulled sharply at the back zipper of her white dress underneath. In one swift, cruel moment, the fabric ripped. Gasps filled the air. The gown tore open from the bottom up, exposing the shredded white dress beneath. Laughter erupted. Someone recorded. Someone else pointed. Amara stood frozen as the humiliation sank in like ice through her spine. But instead of crumbling, she inhaled once, deep, and let every insult, every shove, every cruel whisper fill her. She dropped the ruined gown to the floor, revealing the tattered remains of her dress. Then she stepped forward, eyes locked on Sienna, who was still smirking. Amara's voice rang out over the stunned crowd. Was that supposed to be funny? Sienna blinked. Her smirk faltered. Amara took another step. Let's see if you laugh after. This in emotion so fast the crowd could barely register it. Amara spun on her heel and delivered a precise roundhouse kick. That sent the camera phone in Maddie's hand flying through the air. It hit the ground with a dramatic clatter. Gasps turned into shocked silence. Maddie backed up. Lexi stumbled. Sienna raised a hand as if to block, but Amara didn't touch her. She didn't need to. She looked her dead in the eyes and said, "You messed with the wrong girl." Security guards rushed in, but not to Amara. They pulled Sienna and her friends aside, watching the video that had just been captured, except now the narrative had changed. What happened next spread through social media like wildfire. Instead of Amara being the joke, she became the hero. Students rallied around her. Teachers, finally forced to face the bullying culture at the school, called a special meeting. And Amara, she walked across the stage with her head high, wearing her torn dress with pride. She cheered louder than anyone that day. Her mom cried, not from shame but from pride. Later that week, Amara received a scholarship to a martial arts academy. Local news picked up the story. She gave a speech about courage and kindness, and the importance of standing up not just for yourself, but for those who can't. And Sienna, she was suspended. Her college rescinded her acceptance. The world finally saw her for what she was, and it wasn't pretty. Amara never sought revenge. She didn't need to. All she did was refuse to stay silent. And in doing that, she taught the whole school a lesson they'd never forget. If you're watching this, and you've ever been bullied, remember, your strength isn't in how loud you yell. It's in how you stand when no one else will. You don't need to hurt anyone. You don't need to change yourself. You just need to believe that you're worth standing up for. Because you are. And if you see someone hurting, don't look away. Be the person who steps in. Be the kindness someone needs. Thank you for watching Kindness Stories. If Amara's courage inspired you, leave a comment and share this video. You never know who might need it today. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you in the next story.